paranormal peeps, what's happening? Right, this video is about being haunted. If you're having paranormal activity, what to do about it, where to get help, what to expect, what different abilities can do to a haunting, and so I hope this helps and gives you some guidance. And the reason I'm doing this at the moment is because a lot of people are messaging myself, Lainey and Ben, Sammy, lots of people actually, asking for guidance and help. And in light of what's going on with these lockdowns, a lot of people are stuck in their home and having experiences. And there is a bit of an awakening going on, which is having quite an effect on the paranormal and people. So I thought I'd do this and see if it helps, basically. Right, first things first, if we think about, say, paranormal activity in the home, right, we'll go with that first. We'll start there. Now, the first thing you're looking out for is, did it start abruptly? So all of a sudden, did it just happen out the blue, right? If it happens out of the blue, then that does mean that it's not the property, okay? It means that it's not the property that's haunted. It normally means that either you've had an awakening encounter, something's followed you because you have a spiritual connection, and you've gone somewhere, i.e. on a ghost night, somewhere that has a paranormal connection, or something has just followed you home. It could be to do with work, like if you work in a nursing home or a hospital, or somewhere where there might be spiritual activity. You can have objects that are haunted. I have one right there on my little thummy. Bought that from a car boot sale. I had to do some history digging on it, and I found out it had a spiritual connection, so I had to have it cleansed. So if you buy something from a second-hand shop, or you borrow something, check who you borrow it off to see if that's the cause of the activity. I know I've done a couple of cases where people have taken things from historical sites and all of a sudden they have hauntings. And it doesn't matter of the age of the building. If you see Lainey and Ben, they have a new build. It's the land. So there's many aspects to a haunting you need to look at. And this is what I do as an investigator. I try and break it down, right? Now, if this has been going on for a long period of time, if you're having activity, and we're not talking just creaks on the house cooling down or warming up, right? Because a lot of people think that is paranormal. I'm on about like activity. So say it's centered around an object, because this has come up quite a few times. So say it could be like a wardrobe, and you're getting bumps, you're getting rattles. Now, to check to see if it is paranormal, right, check the temperature. Is there a difference in temperature in the wardrobe? Okay. For example, I used to have this very phenomena myself when I was a kid. Now, with mine, it was manifesting in the place that created fear in me, because I was only a kid. So what you have to do is, you can tell by, if you've got a flame or a candle or a lighter, pass it past the door. Run a lighter past the door to the gap, see if it blows out. Okay, so pass it in front of the door and see if it affects. So see if there's an air current, because if there's energy inside the wardrobe, or it's manifesting in that point of attention, check. Right, that's one way of checking, because it will disturb the air. Even though we can't perceive energy has its own mass, and it can affect the real world. So that's one way to check. If it's been going on for a long time, then it could be a haunting. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the property. That could necessarily mean it's you. Because we can have personal hauntings. People can be haunted. Okay, they can have a spirit that's followed them for a very, very long time. Now, if you are experiencing things, and I'm not talking about if you're filming something and you see spiritual orbs, right? And that's all the activity you have, right? You don't have knocks, you don't have bumps, you don't have movement, you don't have anything. You're just getting orbs on camera. That doesn't mean it's a haunting. In fact, it means quite the opposite. That just means there's spirit around, especially with regards to children and people. That just means there's spirit around, which there is. There's supposed to be. If you have people that you love in spirit, they're around us. Now, sometimes, if we have spirit around us and we are going through a hard time, okay, they can make little mistakes. Now, they might bump something, they might knock something, they might be trying to get your attention on purpose for you to have a message, because they might be concerned about a situation you're going through. Okay? Now, that's a different. The problem is, and I've been called to many cases like that, where that's the case, right? Now, if it's just randomly out the blue and it's very slight, then that's usually someone wants to give you a message. That's usually the people that love us are trying to get our attention. Now, they do things like smells. They do things like they'll go to an object that's associated to them that when they were in the physical world. So it could be jewelry, it could be a photo, it could be something of theirs, it could be something that you use all the time. Now, see, there's different grades of hauntings. If you're going through where you're having voices, footsteps, banging, movement. If you look at Laney and Ben's, if you go to the Laney and Ben's channel, you've seen them on this channel, right? Now, their haunting is a stereotypical haunting. They get movement, it's surrounded around certain objects, they get light flickers, movements, things being knocked, thrown. Okay, now, a lot of people go, oh, that's demons, that's this. It's nothing of the sort. It's just spirit, we're just people. They're just people, okay? We all, in light of the way the world is at the moment, we are just on the cusp of a spiritual progression, okay? We are just about to move forward spiritually, and that's why ITC is changing. That's why there are more ghosts. It says in the Bible, the dead walk among us. We are picking these up. You've got apps now that can see spirit. You've got apps that can hear spirit, and they can manipulate them. We are just on the boundary of understanding what's next and having that knowledge. We've had that knowledge before. It was taken from us, and now it's coming back. And like what Laney and Ben are going through is a story trying to be told, is a haunting for you to witness it, so you go, oh my God, I've gone through that. And it's trying to demonstrate something to us and show us something, that there is something beyond death. Now, if you have a haunting where you're getting the footsteps and the bangs and the knocks and the voices, and it does feel quite oppressive, it doesn't necessarily mean it's negative. It could be that it's frustration, that they're not being heard. It could be the spirit doesn't like the fact that you're in their home. It could be lots of reasons. Now, you have to determine this when you investigate, and that's how we get to the bottom of it. If you can't get someone like myself, which are very few and far between, someone like myself out there in the field helping people for free, then you investigate yourself. So you use all the equipment you have at hand. So you use anything visual. You can use dictaphones, recording equipment, capture pictures, try and get EVPs. You can use some of the paranormal equipment that's available on app form to determine if it is a spirit that's connected to you, or is connected to the home. Now you can gather up all this evidence, so when someone like me turns up, I can just review it and go, I'd have a much better idea of what's going on in your home. If you feel like you have an ability, so say if you're sensitive to people's emotions, which is an empath, and you start keep feeling this overwhelming emotion, right, when you're at your property, now that could determine that you were just picking up the spirit's emotion. Now you will feel like when you go in a certain room, you just feel uneasy, you feel neg, you feel down, right? And it's just in a specific room, and you have paranormal activity. Then you can put that down to being sensitive and being an empath. If you are seeing spirit, because it takes a lot of energy for a spirit to manifest itself. So if you're in a room and you're seeing a spirit, or you're hearing a spirit, it could be that you are sensitive, so you have mediumistic abilities, and you have a paranormal encounter in your home. So that will create a worse paranormal encounter. That will create a worse haunting. If somebody has an ability and you go into a haunted house, it will magnify the haunted happenings in that house. So there's many things to look at if you're going through the paranormal. Now if you're psychic, now psychic phenomena can create ESP, so you can physically, with your mood, affect objects, right? Now to determine whether it's you is if, does it still happen when you're not in the home? That's one way of checking. If somebody else experiences movement when you're not there, then you can put it down to the haunting, this spirit in your home. Now, if you have moved and moved and moved, and you are still having activity, so it's everywhere you've lived, then it's probably down to you. And if you're the majority of the activity is happening around you, then that's because you have an ability. Now, if that's the case, you can learn about spirituality, your ability. I've done a couple of videos on that, of where you fit and what category you might be in. And it's not, don't think of it as a label, it's just what category you might be in, where your ability might be the strongest. And you are the physical and spiritual. Now that is an incredible position to be in. Now the spirits you encounter are just spiritual, they're just energy based. And because you are the two and you have a connection to both, that makes you very, very powerful. And you have a light inside you that these things are drawn to. And that can be good or bad. And you just have to believe in what's in your heart and the love you feel. And this is your shield, because love is the greatest power there is. It is undoubtedly the greatest force we have. If you look at biblical scriptures and things like that, and the people whose names are synonymous in our history, it's because they acted on love. The ones who we look at that we try not to be, they probably lived with hate. And you just have to believe in yourself, guys, and just believe in your power and tell these things to move. If you're not happy, if you can't get hold of someone like me, then just believe in your own ability and your power. And if if you investigate yourself, like I said, then, and you come to the conclusion that it is a haunting or there's something paranormal going on, then just believe in you. Just believe in yourself. And believe in the power you hold. And just tell the spirit to leave. Move it and cleanse. And once, even if it's just a spiritual person, if it's a person in spirit, so there was a physical person before they became spirit to haunt you, then they'll have to move. They can't hold that place. There's these things that we have, like cleansing and crystals and different things. The reason we use them is because they have a purpose and a power. So you're gonna have to find out where your ability lies and what you are, in a sense, to stop the haunting, and to stop being followed by spirit, and to stop these things happening. I've been trying to contact people I've seen on YouTube who are going through horrific hauntings and trying to guide them and help them, and I'm just not getting much response, because I will, and I would, and yeah, and because you can. I've stopped it many times. I've stopped someone going through haunting, and there's so many different aspects to that. I have done it in previous videos, guys. This is just to give you the basis of what to do for haunting. And if you think, without a doubt, that you are having paranormal experiences, or you have a haunting, or you have something going on like that, and if you contact someone like me, like I said, I've done this for free all my life, and that's what you're looking for, someone that does it for the love of it. Okay, if somebody's charging you ridiculous amounts of money, and they don't do it. And it can be, have you done something like, say, a Ouija board, or use spirit communication wrongly? That can cause problems, right? Which is the old adage, is people say when they use a Ouija board, is there anybody there? Never say that. Say only spirits of light and love, or Pacifics you're trying to connect to. And you set your intention to say, there is no darkness welcome on this board, there is no negativity, only spirits of light and love. And like I said, because the amount of cases I've done where I've gone to someone because they've done something like that, absolutely wrong. It's quite shocking. So, if you get someone like me in, what I will do, I will come in, I will investigate with all the technology I have, I will use my mediumship, my abilities, to try and get to the bottom of why this is going on. And hopefully, we can get to the bottom of it, find out who it is, and if they are a loved one, then we pass the message on. If they're not a loved one, they're haunting a property, we see how we can help them, because we always help them. And if it's something negative, then we remove it, we banish it, we move it on. And that's what we do. And like I said, if myself is few and far between, I tell you the truth, it really is few and far between that you will get someone to come in and help you in your home and aftercare. Now that is a biggie, aftercare. That takes a lot of work, guys, and I've been doing cases, some upward of 10 years, of trying to guide that person, make sure the stuff stays at bay. And you're not going to find many people like that in this world, unfortunately. You are really not. So if you have any questions, or you have any concerns or worries, you can email us. The email will be on this video. It's paranormalnow@outlook.com. So you can give us a buzz through that, and I'll see if I can help. I'm helping a lot of people at the minute, so I am very busy, hence the reason I'm doing these videos. So yeah, that's just these are just little bits of the paranormal. If I missed any, drop them in the comments and I'll see if I can answer them. And yeah, but if you do have something and you can't find, and you see this channel, or somebody sees this channel and they know someone that's going through it, pass it on. Send it to them. The guidance, the spiritual spotlight section of this YouTube, send it to them, see if it helps, because it, you know, feedback I'm getting is good and it is helping. So yeah, just know that you are you're in good company. If you're a light worker, or if you are spiritual or connected to spirit, or empathic or psychic, you're in good company. That's been given to you for a reason. It's not given to everyone willy-nilly. If you look at history, like Himmler in World War II, he had psychics that worked for him because he was completely separate from that energy for a purpose, and unfortunately he used that influence to get them answers from other people who were spiritual, and they were probably pushed into finding them answers. So just know you're in good company, and know that somebody, spirit, have looked inside you and thought, yeah, that's the person we need to represent us. And so do all these things, guys. History, investigate yourself, find out about the property, whether it's new or old, it doesn't matter, like I said. Check the background, how long has this been going on, did something start this, or check, have we borrowed, have we bought, has anything changed, have you been anywhere, and have you done something, and just make a diary of it, write it down, photos, videos, EVPs, anything you can do to get validation, and there you are. You have something to pass to someone like me. I can look at it and I can say, yes, I can help this person. Yes, I know what it is. Yes, we can fix it. Yeah. So, now lots of people say to me, oh, is it negative, is it this? And lots of comments, Lainey and Ben get it all the time. It's a demon, this. It's not a demon. It's not a demon. Okay? It's not. Alright? They're a different ball game. They're different circumstances. Completely different thing when you have a demonic entity present in your home or on your person. Trust me, you will know about it. And if you have a haunting and somebody's telling you it's demonic, you're just adding to their power. So you're actually giving that demonic presence a leg up. So think about that when you're saying things to people. And we all want to sound right, and I get that, right? But you are actually helping that being, because you're creating fear in that person. So you need to think about it. Because a lot of people and a lot of comments come up, not on my channel, because all my para peeps, that's a wrong thing to say. I was going to say have a brain, but that's a really wrong thing to say. They just have common sense, and they understand that you don't feed things. Now, if you have a negative energy, which I like to call them, don't like to call them demon, don't like to call them all this other malarkey, they're just a negative energy. Now, just like people, spirits can be arseholes, right? Just like people can. They can be horrible, manipulative arseholes, right? Now, them spirits tend to keep that personality, and if they are in the realm, so they haven't gone to the other side, they've stayed behind because they are frightened of the light, or there is no one to come and fetch them, because it does happen. It really does happen, because that's their lesson to learn. Maybe they cut off everyone in their life. They just cut them dead. They were quite narcissistic, and they were quite a loner, and they didn't like people, and they just cut everyone off because that's what they felt like. And they pass, and there's a good chance there'll be nobody there to fetch them. And if somebody does go to fetch them, there's a good chance that they'll ignore them because they think they're going to get punished. Now, they can be quite heavy in their presence in a home, that kind of energy. And you do have things like poltergeist, which you might have heard, which is German for noisy spirit. But a poltergeist is a spirit that's been in spirits so long, and they're so consumed by emotion that they lose the sense of themselves, the physical sense of our personalities and they just sort of like act on emotions. So they're just more emotion than they are sentient in energy. I hope that makes sense. But a negative presence, a negative energy, what you would probably call a demon, are a completely different kettle of fish. Everything they will do is done to bring you down, to mess with your head, to isolate you, and to get you in a state of fear. Now, these things are linked to all sorts of physical aspects we have, like anxiety, depression, mental health issues. And the amount of times that I've known someone who is speaking to spirit, because I know how to find out if it is spirit they're speaking to, because I've been doing this a long time, that have been diagnosed with mental health issues, it's quite surprising. Now, I'm not saying all mental health issues are spirit. I'm just saying that I have come across those who have been diagnosed with mental health issues that can actually sense, see, and hear spirit. Now, if you look around the world we live in right now, and you can count all the people you absolutely trust, really trust, that will not stab you in the back, tuck you up, throw you under a bus, or get what they want from you, and you're there at their beck and call. That can happen in the spiritual world as well. And negative people, really horrible, dark, malevolent people, have dark and malevolent attachments. This, as far as the research I've done and the investigating I've done, it's what I've come up with. It's the truth of it. So these things are out there and they can affect us. But as far as I've seen, they're very rare. It depends what you meddle with. And it depends on, like, these things feed off ego and the neg of us and the worst parts of our personalities. They affect them. They feed on them, hoping that you will be cruel to others, and they feed off that cruelty. So, yeah, just got to pop in the shop. I'll be back in the blink of an eye. And I'm back. Right, so, as I just said, these negative things are out there, but they're rare. I'll tell you the truth, they're rare to affect people, to have a real effect on people. Now, possession. If someone, yes, I have done possession. I have dealt with people who have been possessed. Now, different thing being possessed by spirit, so a person, because to my knowledge, it doesn't last very long. It can be minutes. Is because it takes so much energy. Now, a demonic possession, so an entity that has possession of your full body and has control of you, is another rare, very, very, very rare phenomenon. And it is the special circumstances to how that can happen. Very special. To do that, you've seen things like exorcisms. Now, exorcisms are faith-based. It doesn't matter who or what is written down, because whichever way you look at it, it's got man written in all over it, right? It's the power in you and what you believe and how much you believe in the words you were saying. So, like this, that, I can't think of his bloody name now. I watch him on TikTok all the time. The vicar on there, if you've seen him, he does a lot of paranormal cases and stuff, right? And if you have a smidgen of faith and you do an exorcism, it'll last about a week, if you're lucky. If you have absolute faith in the words that you were saying, doesn't matter who wrote the words or what the meaning behind them is, if you believe in them words, you believe in love, you believe in the power of love, you can end that possession like that. Click of the fingers, guys. It's all based on our faith in things. And if you're going through a haunting, like I said at the beginning of this, if you're having something like, and it's manifesting in the wardrobe, tell it to do one. If it's affecting people you love, you wouldn't let people hurt the people you love would do. So why would you let spirit? Tell them to do one. Move them on. Tell them to go away. They're not welcome. They're not wanted. They're going to carry on frightening people. And do one. Because these things, they need your fear. Right? They need you to be afraid. To have power. If they have no power over you, if you have no fear of these things, they're knackered. They'll just weaken and disappear. Just dissipate and they'll be gone. That's this little video I just showed on Facebook where the guy's walking, a spirit comes from him, goes across the car park and jumps onto another guy, which we call a jump ship in paranormal terms. Now these negative forces and these negative spirits are constantly looking for someone to manipulate. If they can't manipulate you, they won't be there. They're not going to hang around because they weakens them. They need it. They need to maintain their physical form through your energy. So it's that to look out for. If you think you're having an ability and it's waking up, you have to test yourself. So you have to go through a process to find out what kind of ability it is. Do it on your friends, do it on people you know, do it in your workplace. Just randomly see what you pick up. Just say it. Don't be afraid if you look nuts. Don't be afraid to look nuts, because confidence is a big key in development. It's confidence in your belief. And we really are, guys. We are on this spiritual path, and it's ramping up, and it's changing. And there is a little pull in people's bellies. I keep getting the same message from people that they're getting this pull in their belly, and they don't know why. They just know it's there. And that's the calling. That's all the spiritual people. That's all the people that just might think outside the box and look at the world a little bit differently and know the truth that you can have two sides of a coin, and it doesn't make you right and it doesn't make you wrong. It just makes you on the path you're on, and we can all coexist. And all these stupid frigging things we have in the world, like religions that put on people and oppress people and say that you have to follow this or else, all that is just is pointless in the world we are about to move into. Everything that's going on right now, guys, has got to change. Our complete class system, the education system, our social system, our healthcare, the people that we put in friggin' charge. They are about as much use as a chocolate teapot, and that has to change. We've got to stop picking these people. If you're in America right now and you're watching this, you know better than anyone the words I'm speaking, because you've just gone through that. You've just had a guy who was a non-politician that was really making change. Yes, he loved the sound of his own voice. Yes, he was a celebrity, but he wasn't a politician. And look at the things he did because he wasn't a politician. You get another politician in, things go to shit. that is the things we have to start changing. And we have to change our beliefs in spirit and our spirituality to move forward. Because I can tell you this, and I'm going to try and talk about it in the next video. Everything that I've been through, everything that I try to be, I don't have none of them qualities that bring the world down. I don't have racism, I don't have bigotry, I'm not homophobic, I'm not none of these things. I believe in Jesus. I believe in anyone that's tried to make good in the world. Anyone. And I believe in aliens. And I believe in the aliens had a hand in making us. I can still believe. I can still have faith. I can still believe in a God that isn't the God of the Bible. And the God I believe in is a completely separate entity to what you think God is about. And that's the same for spirit. They're looking for that. So if right now, if it's like happened in 2020, put it down to a spiritual awakening and the calling, they call it. That's what I was told in the church. It's called the calling. That's where spirit is calling up its army of people to put good in the world, and healing and peace and love and understanding, compassion. And so yeah, I hope that's helped, guys. If I missed anything, put it in the comments. If you put it in the comments, I'll tell you about it. If you ask me, I'll make a video of it. I have been actually doing that for my para peeps. I was doing it for Amanda Hill, and that's why I dedicated the film to her, because I'm only one person. I can't help everyone, but I can help as many as I can through this process. I can give the information and try and give you an understanding of the different things I've encountered in the 20 years I've been doing this. And yeah, I hope I covered it all. And let me know. Put it in the comments if there's anything you need to know, if you have questions, if you want answers, if you're looking for something, if something's happening to you and you're thinking, what's this about? The paranormal, there's so many little subtle differences in the paranormal. Every case I do, I learn something new. So, you know, it's a massive spectrum, the paranormal. There's so many individualistic things that can happen to us. But I hope this has helped. I hope this has given you an idea. And yeah. So that's the video. What to do about being haunted. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and check the other bits of this playlist of the spiritual spotlight, because I've talked about where to start, what category you might be in, how to use crystals. I haven't gone into tarot cards because you've got tarot cards, angel cards, fairy cards. It's a big thing and people are a bit touchy on it, to be honest with you. But I will, if you want me to, I will. I'll cover it. I'll tell you how I do it, and how I read them, and how I learned. And yeah, love and light, power peeps. I will see you in the next video.